Hello, this is reb0rn, and welcome to Breaking Out, the show about North American StarCraft 2 players. Here on this show, we take a look at up-and-coming North American talent. Each week, we check out a new player to get a feel for their personality and their playstyle. On Thursday, we interview the player to try and find out more about who they are and why you should care about them. On Friday, we watch 3 of their games as we cover their playstyle in each of the 3 matchups. Saturday, we take a look at an awesome game that they've played and relax with a little bit of fun as we recap the week and get an analysis of the games. Breaking Out will cover 8 players before it culminates into the Breakout Invitational. With a minimum prize pool of $1,000, we find out who is the most likely player to break out of the North American scene. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Hope you guys enjoy the show.
Hi, my name is reb0rn. I am 19 years of age. I am Chinese Indonesian and I play Serb for Clarity Gaming. What do I do for a living? So I'm currently a college student. I'm doing a transfer degree to a university. Hopefully somewhere local. I'm doing a business transfer. I'm unsure what I want to major in right now, but I did, because my dad is a businessman, so maybe business would be really good for me. I just recently got better from cancer. I was diagnosed in 2009, at the end of 2009, and I am in remission since 2012 of June, I want to say. So that's really awesome. And that's the reason why I'm getting back into school and going to college and doing a transfer instead of going directly into university, because at the beginning of senior year of high school, that's when I was diagnosed. So it was pretty tough, but luckily everything's good right now, so that's great. I would say my playstyle would be really reactive, or I like to play more aggressive and fast-paced games. I hate when I was playing in Wings of Liberty. I hated Broodlord Infestors. I would always go Mutas versus Protoss. I never enjoyed the turtle style, and I always try to play knowing what my opponent's weakness are. I play more like a Korean server because I play a lot in the Korean server, and I also like how aggressive they can be, or how macro oriented they can be. So I definitely play. I have a ton of variations, so it's hard to play against me because it's not. You can't really metagame me because I do so many openings. So I try to make the games interesting. Why do you deserve the chance to be the next breakout player? I would say because, for once, I'm only one of the few foreigners that actually got Grandmaster on the Korean server. It's actually not as hard as it was in Wings of Liberty, but I think it's still quite an accomplishment, even though I go to school and with all personal problems, and I'm still able to manage to get Grandmaster on the Korean server. I thought that was pretty impressive. Not a lot of foreigners actually managed to do that. So what else? I would say I'm one of the better players in North America right now. I know that sounds a bit cocky, but I would say that's kind of true. Yeah, so I definitely think I could show quite a number of good games. Let's see, what does StarCraft mean to you? I would say it was just a game, because when I was sick, I couldn't do much, so I guess I played a lot of it. So and I think it became quite a significant part in my life, because I never thought that I would be as good as I am right now. I just kept on playing and just kept on improving, and all of a sudden I'm here, Grandmaster, Korea server, top 16 on the NA ladder. I never really thought that StarCraft would be so huge for me, but I feel like it's definitely part of my identity right now. I wouldn't say it's my life, because I do sometimes get bored of it because of the metagame, but I definitely feel like I definitely have to play like a couple games. I mean, I would say StarCraft is pretty important to me right now, and it definitely helps killing time especially. Other than that, it's just a really great game. Protoss need to be nerfed though, but other than that, I guess that's it.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Breaking Out, a show about North American StarCraft 2 players that you need to know about. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a North American Zerg that's shown his will to fight in more than just StarCraft. Representing Clarity Gaming, we have the 19-year-old American Zerg player. Please give a warm welcome to Arthur reb0rn Lee. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am not too bad. I actually just finished a Deimos Esports Team League cast, and my voice is starting to give a little bit because I've been casting a lot past day or two.
Yeah, casting for a long time must be really hard for you.
Well, I mean, it's not as bad as having to play some of the long games that you players have to do, like against Swarm hosts. And
True. Yeah, that's the worst.
See, I get to just watch and make jokes during that stuff. You guys actually have to constantly micro your units back and forth, so I think we get the slightly easier end of the spectrum in that.
Fair enough, yeah, for sure.
Alright, but for those of you guys tuning in for the first time to Breaking Out, I'll kind of just talk a little bit about the show. So Breaking Out, again, is a show about North American StarCraft 2 players where we kind of just spend 1 week highlighting a different up-and-coming North American player each week, and basically over the course of 3 days, that'll be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we go over the different aspects of the player. So today is going to be the interview day. It's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Wow, I'm messing up my own show times. Thursday is the interview day, so we kind of just sit down with Arthur over here, reb0rn, and get a better idea of kind of who he is and get a better understanding of his personality. Then tomorrow, which is going to be Friday, we're going to go over 3 different games, one from each one of the matchups. We're going to be casting that. And then Saturday, we're going to close up the show, kind of have a little bit of a fun day, and we're going to go over an awesome game that Arthur has actually submitted to us, as well as just have some fun, maybe with arcade games or whatever the fun's going to be. And then we'll go over a recap and actually get reb0rn's opinion on the games that were played. So definitely tune in for that one if you want kind of more insight into what these players are actually thinking about the games that they're playing. But, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and just jump into the interview. And Arthur, I have to ask, man, where did you get your start in esports? I mean, was it just StarCraft, or did you play Warcraft or anything? I believe I read something about you playing Dota for a while.
Right. I'm originally from Singapore. I actually moved to America in 2009, so it was 5 years ago. But in Singapore, Dota was the game. Everybody played Dota. Girls, guys. When you were in middle school, Dota was the stuff that to get you popular, basically. So everybody played Dota, and me and my friends would play Dota every day. Just go to LAN shops, just play Dota, and no, it's really fun. And when I was younger, I also played a bit of StarCraft Brood War, but it was really casual. It was just me messing up units, and I have no idea what I was doing. But most of my games are definitely it was Dota at first in Singapore. But when I moved to America in 2009, no one actually played Dota in America for some reason. I don't know what's going on, but everybody was playing Xbox and PlayStation, which is pretty popular too in Singapore, but nobody played Dota. So I was looking for a new game, basically.
That's really interesting. I mean, so you have to be entirely honest with me. How many women did you pick up with your Dota skills in Singapore?
A lot of them were pretty curious because they were they'll be always their pickup line would be oh, are you gonna go somewhere today? I'll be oh, I'm playing Dota, and then she'll be do you want to go play with me? Or it's I don't remember how many girls, but it was a pretty good game because it was fun and you get girls out of it, so it's a win-win.
That sounds like the dream, man. I mean,
it is the dream.
I just imagine all the pickup lines over there. I mean, I'll go bottle your rune, or I don't even know, man. You could probably come up with some better ones than I could. But that's really interesting. So you came to the States, you got into StarCraft. Was that Brood War or was that StarCraft 2?
No, I don't remember when Wings of Liberty was
2008.
2008? Was it?
Wait, no,
yeah?
sorry. I'm 2010. I'm thinking of a different game.
So, yeah, I remember when I don't remember exactly when, but I remember I was downloading the beta on foreign websites. I didn't get access to it, so I was playing single player.
I just kept playing basically until the game was actually released. I just kept playing and I started out as random, but I changed to Zerg because in reb0rn when I was younger I played Zerg. So that's how I started basically.
Wow, so you actually could have ended up as any of the other races. Was
Yeah, for sure.
do you still feel like you have some sort of retention and skill from those other races?
Not really, because I remember when Wings of Liberty was first released,
Hmm.
I think Zerg was known for the hardest race, was it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Zerg was like
the fruit
such
dealer
a
era.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember Wings of Liberty Terran was OP, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play the hardest race, and that's also part of the reason why I played Zerg, I guess.
Well, that's totally fair, man. Now, one thing I actually did want to go on to, which was, maybe a little bit more of a, well, not as funny of a topic, was sort of your background. You said that actually in an interview that you did with Clarity Gaming when you joined them, that
Hmm.
you were actually diagnosed with cancer in 2009. Would you
Um,
feel
I was,
comfortable telling us a little more about that?
sure, I was actually diagnosed in 2011.
Oh,
It was the senior year of my high school. It was the beginning of senior year, and I was having a lot of pains, and it's been going on for a couple of months, but I wasn't sure what was going on. So basically, I went to like a lot of doctors. So I went to like 8 doctors before they finally figured out that it was actually cancer, and I had to get treated for it immediately because it was pretty bad. It was like stage 3, going to 4, I want to say.
wow.
So I immediately got treated for it. I took a year off high school just to really focus on getting myself better. And after a year of treatment and just support from my family and everything else, I just got a lot better. And within that year, I basically kept on playing StarCraft because I have nothing else to do. Uh, it's hard to do something else when you know I just basically kept on playing StarCraft. So yeah, that's how it went.
Yeah, and okay, I was a little bit confused. Is that actually where you got your name from, Reborn?
Yeah, that's actually how I got my name. That sounds really cheesy, but that's
I
actually
love it, man. I think that's probably up there among like the top three name stories I've ever heard.
thanks.
So I'm a big fan of it, man. Um, but yeah, so okay, so you had a lot of time to play StarCraft. You start off playing a single player. Like,
Right.
tell me, did you start off just being so amazing, or were you kind of like I know that SWS last week was saying the first time he played his placement matches he got put in bronze. So
I watched.
what end of the spectrum were you on?
So if I remember correctly, when I started playing Wings when it first came out, I think I got placed into Platinum. I want to say, like I think Diamond was the highest at that point, but I was
I
placed.
think platinum was the highest at the beginning,
Was it
wasn't
really?
it? Yeah, they didn't have diamond. They had yeah because they had the jokes about Wood League. No, it was yeah it
Oh
was
right,
Wood.
yeah,
Wood
yeah,
was
yeah.
actually a league at the beginning,
I
but
remember,
they
yeah.
didn't have diamond. But then they shifted everybody up one league
Hmm?
and got rid of Wood and created diamond.
Oh right, yeah, I totally forgot about that. But I remember I was placed into Platinum, but I was playing random at that point, and I just abused like I just abused the most like in TVC there was like 5 Rex Reaper or something like that.
Oh
I
god.
I was the person that kept on doing that, and
Oh.
I just kept on doing that in versus all the Zergs I play against. And that's the only reason probably why I got platinum at that point, because I just abused these strategies that were still
Oh.
overpowered. But other than that, I was just a standard player. I wasn't anything special. I wasn't pretty good. I was just abusing the strategy that was overpowered at the point, and that's the only reason
Mhm.
why I probably got placed into platinum at the point.
Mhm. But then in 2011, you had a lot more time. You started playing a lot more,
Yeah,
and got a lot better.
in 2011, I actually got a lot of time, so I just watched a lot of streams and just kept on playing. I didn't really I didn't really see myself to be this good. I don't want to sound a bit cocky, but I just kept on playing, and I never thought I would make Grandmaster, and Grandmaster was like the thing to get.
Yeah.
But once I got it, I just kept on improving, and I just kept on playing. I don't really spend like a lot of time like focusing on like replays and like practicing. I just
Hmm.
like after every game, you need to know why you lose, and that's how you improve basically.
More GG, more skill, right?
Do more skill exactly, yeah.
All right. Well, I actually also wanted to ask you something not entirely related to yourself in StarCraft, but
Sure.
I guess kind of is how does your family or your parents feel about your involvement in esports? I mean, do they know that you're on Clarity Gaming, that you're obviously such an awesome StarCraft player?
They actually have no idea what I'm doing with they know I play this game a lot, but they have no idea like anything like going on with it. Basically, I made a bit of money just tournaments and like coaching, and I just show it to my parents. I'm like, oh hey, I played this game and I get a bit of cash, and they're like, oh cool, and that's it. But other than that, they have no idea like I'm actually like decent and like
Hmm.
so because I haven't played a lot of big name tournaments
Hmm.
because of school and whatnot. It's really hard to qualify
Yeah.
for them because of the time interaction. They always clash with each other because
Yeah.
WCS was I don't know why, but WCS America was hosted on the weekdays, and that's why most people have school. So
Hmm.
really, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I've heard that complaint from a lot of people. Do you know how your parents would react if you told them like you were like as involved as you are in, I guess, competitive gaming?
I think my mom and my parents would be just pretty supportive, but my dad is actually like a businessman, so I'm actually majoring in business hopefully, and just to um, go into business with him. For now, StarCraft is just I wouldn't say, but I would say it's more like of a hobby.
Hmm.
Just just keep on playing and just keep on getting better. I'm not like 100% like focused on going full time on StarCraft because it's really hard for most players to make a living out of StarCraft anyway.
Hmm.
So I'm just it's a hobby for now for sure.
Yeah, that's understandable. Now, I believe you also mentioned that you are actually in college right now. So obviously, you're saying StarCraft for now. It's just a hobby.
Right.
What are you doing in college? Like, what are you majoring in? And yeah,
I'm actually
just tell me
yeah.
more about
So
that.
I'm actually majoring in business right now, and this quarter I'm taking microecons, and business classes. Just those basic classes to get me started up for a
Hmm.
transfer degree. But I'm also kind of want to major in culinary arts, but I'm not really sure at this point yet. It's really hard to choose a
Hmm.
major when you're like at your young 20s and you have to
Yeah.
choose like a profession for the rest of your life. I feel like that's a really hard thing to do for sure. But at this point, it's definitely more business related because of my dad and
Hmm.
um, everything else.
Well, I mean, yeah, you have plenty of time. I mean, you're still just like 19. You're just pretty much beginning the whole college thing, so
Right.
you still have time to decide.
Mhm.
But yeah, how is it balancing StarCraft with school? I know you mentioned it's a little bit difficult in some situations.
Sure. It's not that bad because in college you take a couple of classes, even though they're harder, they're pretty short classes,
Hmm.
most of the time. So you have a bit more time to play StarCraft, but um, it's not that bad because I used to be able to play when I was sick. I used to be able to play like 8, 10 hours in a row. But right now I've only like time for like maybe 3, 4 hours at most. So I just try to really focus on improving in that short amount of time, like what I could do better in my gameplay.
Yeah,
So I don't waste time grinding my time on just grinding the ladder. A lot of people do that.
I guess like more of condensed and focused effort on improving rather
Right.
than yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you put it
I'm a
way
big
better
fan
than
of
I
that,
do.
man. I'm a huge fan of that kind of mentality. I feel like a lot of players could actually use a little bit more of that. Um, but yeah, that's actually maybe you will be the person that will answer yes to the question I'm going to ask later on. It starts with resume and it ends with replay. Uh, we'll see. Well, I'll ask you the question later. But for now, let's. I want to ask you like, what do you feel up until now has been your biggest achievement in StarCraft Two?
I definitely I don't have much of an achievement, but maybe getting Grandmaster on the Korean server. That's probably the biggest achievement. I haven't played much tournaments because I wasn't expecting to really put my name out there. I was just playing the game for as I said before, as a hobby. So getting Grandmaster on the Korean server was really, how do I say this? It really helped with my self-esteem, I guess. Even though I feel like it's much easier than it was in Wings of Liberty, because a lot in Wings of Liberty there was a lot players. There was a lot of good players before they retired. I think it's much easier to get into Grandmaster on the career server now, but it's still the toughest server among like Europe and North America. But that definitely I think was one of my biggest achievement for sure.
Yeah, and I also want to ask, what kind of difficulties have you really faced in kind of trying to break into the North American scene or StarCraft 2?
In North America, there's not much tournament going on. It's always just it's most of the tournaments that they have. It's invited players. Like MLG was invited players that's already popular and established. Like what tournament was it that was
Ender's Game?
yeah, but I was Cats was nice enough to actually invite put my name in the voting system, but because
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
pretty unknown basically, so I didn't get much
Yeah.
out of that. But it was really cool of him to help me how to say this to help me
Exposure?
yeah, exposure for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, it was really nice of him. But most of the other tournaments, they're helping the NA scene that's already established. So it's really hard for amateur people to really show their talents for sure.
Hmm. Yeah, and I want to ask also as a bit of a follow up, but are there any kind of things that you are trying to do to give yourself more exposure or visibility in the scene?
I'm definitely not doing enough of that much. I do stream sometimes, but it's just because I don't get a lot of viewers. I just tend not to stream for a long time. I definitely definitely have to improve on working to put my name out there, but for now I haven't been doing much at all, to be honest. So that's kind of my fault, I guess.
Mhm. Yeah, and with the way that you practice, you say you have sort of more focused practice time.
Hmm.
When you stream, are you streaming just like your regular practice time, considering you have a certain amount of time that you're like capable of playing StarCraft,
Right.
or are you just kind of playing ladder games? I mean, do you have any concerns about sort of showing too much of how you're practicing?
When I stream, I don't really play only ladder games
Hmm.
because if I was to practice something, like I would say, if I have a weakness in this matchup, I would ask like somebody from
Hmm.
my team or somebody I know to help me practice the the problem.
Yeah.
But if I show that on stream, people would not want to watch me doing the same thing over and over again. Let's just say that I'm weak at defending against Immortal Sentry All In.
Hmm.
I would tell the my friend
Who
to
isn't?
right, exactly. Who isn't Protoss? But I would ask him to do like maybe do that same push like 10 times in a row, and I'll try to defend it, doing everything differently during that 10 times. But if I were to show it on stream, it wouldn't be fun for the viewers, obviously, because no one wants to watch somebody gets immortal pushed like 10 times in a row. But
I don't. I would like to see that. I would love to see players practicing that, but that's
I'll
maybe that's
probably
just me.
I'll probably not be able to hold and start raging. Probably stop OP, but for sure I'll normally just treat my letter games because my letter games are mostly shows my playstyle.
Hmm.
Like my playstyle is pretty reactive, so it doesn't really matter to me if people watch my BODs or they understand my playstyle because I feel like my playstyle is pretty diverse. I could be cheesy, I could play macro really well, I could play it all depends on the player because if I know this player is more aggressive or more cheesy, I will play a bit more defensive. But if I
Yeah.
know he's more greedy, I will play more aggressive. You know what I mean? It's like it all depends on the player. I'm really one of those reactive Zergs. I don't do stuff blindly most of the time. I try to scout as much as I can, so it's hard to play against. I would say, I guess.
Yeah, I that actually is a really interesting kind of way to explain your playstyle. And
Sure.
we'll talk a little bit more about your playstyle and kind of let you go more in depth on that in a little bit. But for now,
Mhm.
I actually did want to ask, like, so you're in college, you're practicing a couple hours a day, like when you can. You occasionally do stream. What does your normal day look like though? Like, break it down like hour commitments in different things for me.
Sure. I'll sleep really late because my classes start at 12:30 to 4 o'clock ish or 3:30. So I'll wake up at like maybe 9 or 10, maybe do some homework or just do some school stuff. And then I'll go to school until 4 o'clock, come back home, play a bit of StarCraft or if I have a lot of homework or if I have something else going on. But normally I would just play StarCraft for a couple hours, make some dinner, then do the homework and go to sleep and do that all over again every day. Um, I like to watch Netflix though, at night before I go to bed on my iPad. So that's awesome.
Okay,
Well,
okay.
just hang out with friends like after school. So that's really it. Just a
Alright.
basic college student life, basically.
That's fair. All right, but you have to answer me now. Top 3 Netflix shows. Go. Right now.
Oh, that's hard. Breaking Bad. Let's see what else was it. I like Dexter. Breaking Bad.
Oh my
Dexter.
god.
What? What's wrong?
Dexter, I don't want
Um,
to I don't want to put out spoilers, but Dexter, I got really upset. I think it was at the season 2 finale. Like I was watching it. I got really upset during the scene in like the cabin out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh,
That
what was
finale.
happening?
Yeah, I don't
Right,
want to
right.
spoil anything. I got really upset. I just rage quit the show. I was like, I'm not watching this anymore.
But the ending for Dexter was actually I don't get it at all. But I feel like the first couple of seasons was really good enough. It was really well put
Hmm.
to really just bring excitement to it. And my third show would be, let's see, Parks and Rec maybe, or It's Always Sunny
Oh,
in
that show was
Philadelphia.
good.
Yeah, it's all good shows. I'm running out of things to watch on Netflix. That's not good.
Oh well, message me after the interview and I'll send you a ton of things your way.
That's good. That's great.
Although I don't know, man. Maybe I don't want to take too much away from your StarCraft practice time.
I'll blame you if I'm not doing well. I'll be like, oh, it's all Robbie's fault now.
Of course. All right. Well, I actually did want to ask you, moving on to your team, and your team is Clarity Gaming. You joined them about 4 months ago. Sometime between November and December.
Mhm.
How has that been? What has the Clarity Gaming been like for you?
It's been great. They're really nice people. Everybody's very, very cool, very active in chat. We try to practice as much as with each other as much as possible. Um, they're really organized in tournaments and stuff. They call you, they tell you, they remind you that let's say there's a breaking out event qualifiers tomorrow, or if there's WCS qualifiers tomorrow, they try to remind you constantly so you don't forget. It's been really awesome. They've been really great for sure.
That's great, man. I can think of a couple of players that maybe could have used some of those reminders.
The feeling is that like when you wake up too late, like you didn't get like a wake up call, or you missed the qualifiers even though you practiced so hard for it, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I can only imagine that must be like a really devastating feeling where you're like, oh god, yeah. Um, awesome. So I mean, what exactly is it about Clarity that I guess it's only been 4 months, but I mean, what has really kept you on there? Is it the connections you're getting? Are you salaried? Are you just getting the practice partners that you were looking for?
Right. Actually, before I joined SDA, I was actually trying to join Clarity Academy team, like way back before they had like an academy team, because I was a fan of Clarity. I was a fan of there's this player named Juktu. He's a Korean Zerg. I don't know if you know who
Yeah,
that is.
yeah.
Yeah, and I was a fan of him, and I wanted to be in the academy team, but instead I was accepted into the tournament that they had, but I didn't. I decided to just join SDA because I was trying to focus more on my studies at that point. So but after like a long time with SDA, a lot of players left because of personal reasons. So I decided to just join another team that's more professional in a sense. So Clarity has a mature image. I want to say they have
Yeah.
good, just a good image in general. So I was attracted to joining Clarity for sure, because everybody here is really nice too, and people like Seeker, who's really famous,
Oh, yeah.
really nice on Team Liquid, who's like a mod. He's awesome and gets to know a lot of people. So joining Clarity for sure it's been really great so far.
Yeah, man. I actually can't think of a Clarity person that I dislike like, at all. So
Exactly.
I'm definitely with you, man. And hey, you gotta live up to the name of breaking out season 1. Saravati took season 1,
Right.
the breakout
He's a really
invitational.
good player, yeah, for sure.
You gotta live up to that name now.
I hope so. I mean, I'll try my best, but try my best.
It's all good, man.
It's all-
But yeah, so let's kind of move on to something that I know the players always like to talk about a little bit more, And that's the actual gameplay. So okay,
Right.
hypothetical situation. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Dustin Browder, all right,
Right.
developer. Obviously, really big, important person as Blizzard, runs a lot of the StarCraft stuff. He is riding in a theme park. He's on the merry-go-round, all right, and suddenly he realizes, oh God, the merry-go-round is spinning, but as it's turning on, he realizes nobody took out the destructible rocks underneath the merry-go-round that allow it to spin. So what ends up happening is the merry-go-round tries to spin, and it just explodes. It just,
Okay.
So now Dustin Browder is incapable of running Activision Blizzard in the StarCraft 2 division. They
Right.
say, you know what? There's this guy. He's going through college. He's going for business degree. Like, sounds really smart. Clearly, let's hire him. Replace Dustin Browder. That very smart young man is you, Arthur, and reb0rn. So what do you change about the way that Blizzard is running Blizzard and StarCraft? It could be either WCS changes, it could be changes to the balance, you could change the ladder map pool, whatever you want.
Right now I feel like they're doing a great job in tournament-wise. I mean, WCS has a lot of exposure and such, but the only concern I have is definitely balance. I wouldn't say the game is imbalanced right now. It's actually pretty balanced, but to a point where we have to play specific playstyle, like CVT and heavy turtleneck, like where they turtle off play like just mass command centers. And like if you watch Pro League, Solkey versus who was that turn that basically the game lasted like 2 hours or something like that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah, and they weren't able to attack each other, and that's terrible game design in my opinion. They should look at something like that, and like Swarmhouse and like Protoss in general. I don't think Protoss is imbalanced, but the amount of stuff they could do right now, and because of the mothership core, it's really it's a huge amount of stuff they could do without getting a lot of repercussions. Like they don't have any.
Not a lot of risk.
Right, not a lot of risk. Like they could do something and get away with it just because of the mothership cannon. But they somehow do need that, because if that doesn't work, then they're really far behind. Like in Wings of Liberty, if like a DT rush doesn't work, then they're super far behind, right? Because Berserk just maxes on Roachling and you're dead basically. So I feel like they should do something about Protoss for sure. I think their design as a race in general is lacking, but Berserk and Turrets, I think it's fine right now, because ZVT is like the most exciting matchup to watch, in my opinion at least.
Yeah, fair. Okay, so mostly kind of design changes, not
Right.
necessarily to fix balance, but to make the game more interesting to you.
Right, exactly.
Do you have any thoughts specifically about, like, say, the swarm hosts?
I hate Stormhosts. I try not to use them as much as possible, but I do have to use it sometimes because it's the only way Zerg can trade efficiently in Heart of the Swarm. There's a reason why in Wings of Liberty, Roach Hydra wasn't used anymore, because Hydras is just terrible. They're just after a certain amount of like Void Rays, Hydras they just die to them. That's the reason why people have to go Stormhost static defense just to deal with that. And I feel like the Stormhost is such a flawed unit design. It's basically the same. It's basically the ground of Infestor Broodlord and Wings of Liberty, and they should really take a look at changing the whole unit or remove it. I don't care if they remove Stormhost, to be honest, but they have to find a better unit replacement for it for sure. Other than that, I feel like it's a boring unit to watch. I'm not sure if it's as a caster you agree, but it's basically, especially like playing like or watching a 1 hour game of Stormhost, it's like the worst. It's like you have nothing to cast about. Like you just see like Locusts get killed by Colossus and wait for like one person to make a mistake basically. It's not what it should be. What I feel like it should be like ZVT Biomine, it should be exciting, like constant trading, drops everywhere.
Meaningful trading.
Exactly. It's not like one big battle and then I lost the whole army, so I should lose the game now, or something like that. Something like that. Maybe I'm complaining too much.
No, I will say there's, and this is all I'll say on the topic. There's a reason why every single time there's like a 2 to 3 hour, usually game with Fire Cake, in WCS EU. Every single time that happens, that the casters go crazy and just start talking about nothing.
Exactly. I feel like a lot of people know that Stormhouse is a flawed unit in general, but Blizzard is not doing anything to change about Stormhouse. I feel like it's because if they know if they remove the Stormhouse like in the middle of like Pro League or whatnot, it will change the playstyle too much right now. But they definitely need to change the unit design in general.
Yeah, what's really interesting to me is they have some proposed changes, but I think the proposed changes for the Tempest, which sort of kind of handles some of the Protoss versus Zerg, maybe. I'm not even sure whether it actually helps, and I'd love to get your thoughts on that, but I guess it doesn't even really touch upon the Zerg versus Terran situation that I guess kind of arose in Pro League.
Right. Is it the
The
edit-
Tempest plus 40 damage to
No,
buildings.
that's a terrible change because it doesn't help. It doesn't help the Stormhost like problem. It just makes you kill the buildings faster, but it doesn't change the fact that we still have to do the Stormhost static defense just to
Yeah.
just to deal with everything else. It doesn't change anything. Maybe it makes the game go a bit faster because you kill spores faster, I guess. But it doesn't change the idea of Stormhost being used defensively, I guess.
Yeah, I think they're trying to discourage it entirely. Like they're saying, well, hopefully, with if this happens, then it won't be viable. But I'm not sure if that's the case. So
No, definitely not. It's definitely going to be viable. The Zerg is just going to make more, I guess. Make more.
yeah, oh god.
It's going to be longer.
Well, the Zerg will have a slightly lesser bank then. But okay, those are some
Okay.
pretty interesting thoughts. And I kind of want to shift focus to your gameplay and your own play style. Could
Right.
we actually just go over all the three of the matchups, and you can kind of tell us your thoughts about how you play in each of those matchups, and at the end we can kind of talk a little bit about whatever strengths and weaknesses you feel you have in your own play style.
Sure. In ZVZ, I'll start with ZVZ.
Yeah.
I like to go hatchery opening because I feel like if you open hatchery, you could stop most early pull, like 9 pull, 10 pull. As long as you got good drone micro, you're fine. It's the best opening. The only thing it dies to is maybe like 9 pull baneling or 10 pull baneling. Other than that, you should be able to hold most of the stuff that they throw at you, and that's how I play. ZVZ. I try to open guest lists and go into roaches, and because I feel like mutas are good, but how do I say it? If you go guest list, your upgrade advantage is so huge that if you go muta into roaches, you might be really far behind, and that's the reason why in Korea in Pro League, you don't see most of them going mutas anymore. To be honest, mutas has been dying out in the past months, right? If you notice,
Yeah.
all of them has been roaches versus roaches, and I feel like the reason is because gasless is really good against muta opening, and that's also the reason why gasless openings has been really popular lately. In ZVT, I've just played pretty standard. I go hatch, pull gas, deal with the reapers, and then transition into muta link baneling. I don't. Some people go roach hydra, but I don't. I don't think that's a good composition at all. Like, I think roach hydra is terrible against bio, but I have no reason why they do it. I just go muta link baneling and to just play standard from there now. In ZVP, I go. ZVP is the hardest matchup to explain. It takes a long time to explain because of the amount of openings Protoss can do and Zerg can do. It's either 15 hatch or 15 pull for me. I don't like going 3 hatch before pull because I feel like it's too vulnerable to a lot of stuff. Like if they chrono like a couple of units or they just it's too vulnerable. I just don't like it. It's too greedy in my opinion. But I always like to play a bit safer on the safer side because I feel like if I'm better than the player I'm playing against in the long run, I'll win the game. So I like to play it safe in the early game and then just win in like the mid and late game. I feel like that's when I'm the strongest, around the mid and late game for sure. That's how I play most of my matchup, I guess.
Yeah, so would you say that the last statement that you just said of playing sort of safer in the early game and
Right.
then making up for it in the mid to late game with like really strong mid to late game play, is that sort of how you feel about all the matchups, or just Zerg versus Protoss in particular?
I would say it's mostly Zerg versus Protoss and maybe CVC because ZVT I'm pretty confident in like the mid game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but in ZVP it's ZVP is so hard because they have like so much openings, like four gateways, start getting to 3 gateway DTs, and it's all about scouting. So it's really hard to explain. But I like to play on the safer side because if you don't notice that a gateway push is coming, and you make drones instead of units, you're just dead. It's no way you're coming back from there, and it's really hard. ZVP is so hard to explain right now because there's a lot of factors going on into sorry,
Yeah,
into a lot of decision making. But in ZVP I like to play a bit safer because a lot of Protoss is not to be offensive but cheesy. as we as we all know it. Most
uh,
circles will agree with me. But
they
that's
have it all in. They have a couple all in.
I have a couple
A
of
few.
yeah.
A few.
If you notice the Immortal Sentry, DTs into it's a lot of stuff. So I like to play a bit safer because I hate losing to like random stuff like DTs and like just random stuff. So I like to play a bit safer and then I like to play a bit more aggressive in the mid to late game because I don't want to go into storm host. So I try to end the game like in the middle, in the 15 minutes mark ish, for sure.
Yeah, cool. So if you had to sum up your general play style, not necessarily specific to a matchup, um, how would you say it? Like, do you feel comfortable in late game play?
Right.
Minus ZVT, I guess, where you feel comfortable in the mid game.
I'll be comfortable. Like I'll say my gameplay would be reactive,
Mm-hmm.
fast, I guess, and definitely more aggressive than turtley. I hate to
Yeah.
like turtle in like 100 spores and
Yeah.
wait for like 1 hour for like I hate that playstyle so much. Even in Wings of Liberty, I actually
Oh
didn't
yeah.
reload Infestor. Like I hated it, so I went like Mutas versus Protoss and I went Mutas versus Terran. So I try not to play like a boring game because
Hmm.
no one deserves to watch a 1 hour Stormhouse game, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's a
Hey man,
it's
I have appreciated every single game I have been able to cast of you because they've always been pretty entertaining games, and I agree. You
thank you.
definitely have. You've been on the aggressive side usually, which is cool.
It's good because I mean it's what make the games exciting, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, for sure. That's how I play my games, I guess.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, well, let's kind of move on. So, I want to talk about you're playing on the Korean ladder, and is that you mentioned that you kind of like to hit up specific practice partners, saying like I have trouble in Zerg versus Terran right now. Like,
Mhm.
come over here, Terran partner, and we'll play. But you also were saying that you got GM on the Korean ladder and everything. How much of that is factoring into your play and your practice?
What I noticed that in different servers they play really differently. The Protoss on Korea is super abusive. Like they're really abusive about the whatever Protoss can do.
Yeah.
The Terrans are more, how do I say? The Terrans are way better. For some reason, they just play better. And in ZVZ, they're more aggressive. They like to 9 pool, 10 pool bailing a lot. But I would say a lot of people get the misconception that if I play in the career ladder, I'll get better. But
Hmm.
I don't think that's true at all because if you have no idea what you're doing, then you're just playing a different person all the time. So I don't think you're playing better. You're under the illusion that you play better, I guess.
Hmm.
But other than that, career ladder is good for practice because you play against people who are mostly barcodes on the higher level. So you can't really metagame them. What you want to do is basically improve your mechanics and your standard gameplay for sure. But if you want to practice games, then you definitely want to do it against your people that you know and like what you have to improve on. But for career ladder, you want to just play games that improve your mechanics and whatnot because everybody's a barcode, so you can't really metagame anybody, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's just about improving mechanics, and if you want to try something like some new build order, career ladder will be the best for that because everybody plays such a different style that it's really good for your for reacting to what your opponent's going to do to you.
Yeah, fair enough. You also kind of mentioned in the past that you said you kind of feel like you play like a Korean Zerg. Now, what exactly does that mean? Is that reactive style you were talking about?
I feel like a lot of Korean Zergs they like to play. They're not afraid to be aggressive, Like some Zergs I know, they just play like one style. They don't change their style at all. They're like constant. They don't change their play style in their opponent. They just do build orders like blindly. And I feel like Korean Zergs, they're more aggressive. They whatever they scout, they react to it. So it's really hard to explain, but Korean Zergs are more reactive, I would say. But the Terrans are definitely way better than the Zergs are not like a huge like not a lot better than the NA like higher letter Zergs like Kane and all the other players, but the rest of them are pretty similar. But the Korean Terrans and NA Terrans are completely different. Korean Terrans are super aggressive, while NA Terrans are more defensive. They like to go like 3CCs into like a macro game, while Korean Terrans would go like gas first into like proxy barracks into like it's crazy. It's just a lot of build orders.
Yeah, man. It clearly goes to show the reason why we had like, I think we had at least more Terrans trying to go mech than I could think of in Korea.
Right,
So
right. Because they like to try. They make stuff work basically. I don't know how they do it, but the Korean Terrans are just like on another level.
magic.
Yeah, they're like you know like how there's like Zerg Protoss and Terran on like the
Mhm.
choosing screen. It's like they have like Korean Terran like
It's they're
Protoss
their own
stuff.
race.
Yeah, it's their own race. It's crazy. It's just insane. Like the amount of stuff they could do.
Well, I'd love to play the campaign for Korean Terrans, but
That'd probably be fun.
all right. Well, I did want to ask also because you mentioned that you again practice a lot with practice partners. Do you use the resume from replay function ever with your practice?
Um, no, unless like
Oh, so
unless like
close.
he
So
unless
close.
like he disconnects, I would say.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, no. Because how do I say it? Because if you start a game from the beginning, then you get to improve your injects and your pre-spread and whatnot.
Hmm.
So because every game is different, obviously.
Yeah.
So I don't do it that often. But if I just want to like defend like a specific all like if I said that I would be able to hold this in like a replay, like if I lost a game, and I'm watching the replay, I'll be like, oh, I should be able to hold this. Then I'll try to do the resume from replay stuff.
I see.
But other than that, I don't use it that often.
Okay. Well, it was worth a shot. I'm just gonna keep asking people until I finally get a yes.
Do most people say no to that?
I have not encountered anyone. The only person I think I've ever heard say that they use it, even like sometimes, beyond just like, oh, I'm kind of curious about this, like, and then test it, like, not actual dedicated testing or
Right.
like practicing, was I think TLO mentioned at some point, and I don't even know if he does it that much. So, I don't know, man. I understand why players don't do it though, because it takes a lot of time even just to like jump into a specific time anyways.
Oh yeah, that's really annoying too because you
And
have
to
to
reset it,
press
yeah.
forward. Yeah, and then you have to wait for it. Especially it's like 20 minutes into the game, so you have to just wait. Like, you just have to fast forward it, and sometimes it crashes too. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird. So.
Alright, I'm gonna cheat. I know this is your interview, but I'm gonna make, going back to the Dustin Browder thing, if I was at Blizzard, I would make a change so that there was a reset button. Because I remember there was, back, I played Protoss, and back when Tal'Darim Altar was in the Protoss map pool, and everything was 4 gates versus 4 gates, I would practice, there was like a map that somebody made that was literally just, you have a base and your opponent has a base, 4 gateways, and it's just like this straight line in between the 2 bases, and you both have like, it starts the game off at the like exact time where warp gate is like finishing up. Like you start the game, warp gate finishes 10 seconds, and then it's 4 gate versus 4 gate. You just got to practice 4 gate versus 4 gate. And you
Oh, I
could
remember
reset
that.
it with just like a command, and all the minerals and like everything would just 100% reset. You wouldn't have to like remake the game or anything. So I want to see that. I want to see something like that from Blizzard.
I remember playing that map once, but what's the name of the map? I remember that. Totally remember that.
Yeah, yeah. Like those maps are great for practicing things. I
Oh,
think
they're great. Yeah.
I think if there was something like that for replays, that would actually be really cool for practicing. If it was just
Right.
like a really quick reset, like just reset at X time or something. Even if you just had to like go through the replay once and bookmark that time, so it like took a screenshot of what the map looked like,
Hmm.
but then you could just jump back at any time. I think that would be cool. Anyways, back to interviewing you. But yeah, okay, so all of that aside, you do practice with practice partners a lot. Are there any practice partners that you have like any kind of friendly rivalries with, or maybe people you don't practice with that you actually just dislike?
I would say Estrella, if you know who that is.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Estrella is really amazing player. I first knew him when I was in the same team as him on SCA, and when I first played against him, I was like, this guy's bloody good. Like this guy is really, really good.
Really
Like
good.
he's different from all the other protos I played. We like to off race a bit. Like I'll play Terran, I'll play Protoss, and then he'll play Zerg. Then we'll complain about how each other plays better balance. Like he'll do like the Swarm stuff, and then I'll do like whatever else.
Immortal
It's fun.
Sentry all the
Yeah, I'll do like the most abusive builds against him, and then he'll do like the most abusive builds against Protoss, I guess. We'll just have fun,
That's
and
so funny.
it's really good practice against him because he's really great player. I feel like he's one of those he's one of the he's one of the NA Protosses that would actually get far if he decides to go full time. He's really talented. Astria is really good. I try to practice with him as much as I can. Who else? That's probably my rival for sure. Astria. I don't win. We play a lot of ZVPs. He wins like a lot of them. Like he wins like 60% of them, 70%. I'll win like 40, 30%. His PVZ is really solid for sure.
Oh yeah, Estrella is just like an absurdly good player.
He's very good. Yeah, He's definitely one of the. I feel like he's probably the best amateur Protoss on NA. For sure, he's one of the best Protosses on NA.
Yeah, I would have a little bit of trouble disagreeing with you too much on that.
He's really.
He's definitely he's definitely one of the best. But yeah, cool. I mean, are there any other rivals that maybe you don't get along with as well?
Don't go along with.
Perfectly fine to say no. Also, most people do.
I would say no because I try to be friendly. I try to be when people ask me for practice games, I'll just try to be I'll just try to play as much as I can with them. Other than that, I try to get along with everybody. To be honest, I mean, there's no reason why people have to be like just be nice, you know. Everybody, just be cool. It's
Yeah, no need to hate.
No need to hate. Why hate? It's just a game, right? After all, we should just try to enjoy ourselves as much as possible.
And I'm a fan of your mentality.
Thank you.
All right. Well, you know what? Let's move on to the next topic then. It's
Sure.
Shifting away from the whole game balance and design and practicing and all that stuff, and kind of going into the future for you as a player, as a person. So I did want to ask, like, what is your goal in StarCraft? You kind of mentioned it's for right now a bit more of a hobby, but
Right.
I'm sure that you have some sort of expectations or goals for StarCraft. Do you want to just qualify for WCS Challenger League, a Premier League, or do you hope to win a DreamHack or WCS? Like, what's your plan and your goal?
For me right now, I would really like to qualify for Premier League, I would say. I feel like I definitely could do it if I put the time into it. What else? I would like to qualify for like a major event, like like MLG or reb0rn qualifiers or something like that. Just to qualify for a major event. I don't somewhere within like America. I wouldn't go into like DreamHack and whatnot because I feel like a lot of those players are a lot better than me. For like any like related events, I feel like I could at least qualify or like win like one of them. I want to try at least winning one of them. That's my future. I mean that's my goal for the future so far. Other than that, yeah, that's how I see myself for goals wise, I guess.
Yeah, would you ever consider, say, going for something like MLG Anaheim? Because I know that they did mention there was going to be an open bracket for
Right.
MLG Anaheim.
I would if Clarity decides to send me there, then I'll definitely go for it. I'll try because that'll be my first tournament. I just want to see how well I would do in general against other players, and that would really help me put myself like an idea of where I stand on the NA scene or just in the StarCraft 2 scene in general.
Yeah.
But that would definitely be really cool.
Yeah, cool. Well, hopefully, I hope that it would be you can make it out there somehow. That'd be really cool to
Thanks.
see there. I also want to ask you. You kind of said right now StarCraft is just a hobby. Is there any scenario where you say like, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll take some time off and go full time into pro gaming for a little bit. Has that ever crossed your mind?
To be honest, no. But unless I win like a major event, like unless I win like some sort of huge tournament, then I definitely won't go full time because again, as I said before, it's really hard to make a living there, and it's really hard to put your name out there. So I definitely won't go full time unless I feel like I'm really, really doing well. Other than that, yeah, that's it's hard to go full time in StarCraft 2 to make it work too.
Yeah,
And
it requires a lot. It
right.
requires a lot of work to.
And yeah, and for now, it's still just a hobby for me.
Mhm.
I do enjoy playing it, but I don't think I would go full time anytime in the future. So
All right. Well, I have to ask. I mean, you've shown competency getting GM in Korea. I mean, you've beaten some great players. Why don't more people know about you?
I feel like it's because I just I feel like it's really hard to put your name out there unless you've done something amazing, like you win like an MLG or you win some huge tournament. Like a lot of players on NA, I feel like those who are underrated. Um, like for some examples, like Masa, I feel like a lot of people were underrating him, but like because he doesn't have a lot of tournament results, but he's really solid. He's like one of the scariest turns to play against.
Hmm.
I think he's one of the best turns on NA too. But not a lot of people know about him because it's he didn't win a lot of tournaments, and by joining like a team like it really helped him, his name. But still, a lot of people didn't know about him. Like when he was streaming, like he was barely getting like 40 viewers, and that's really sad to see, to be honest. For somebody like Masa, like when he first started streaming. Um, but that's part of the reason why. Sure, it's hard to get your name out there unless you win something huge. Like unless you like maybe qualify for WCS or you take out some big names. Like I think when Scarlett first won in IPL, she took
Hmm.
out like some really big names like some Koreans, right? Like I don't
Yeah.
remember who it was, but that's how she got famous. So that's maybe how you put your name out there. But other than that, it's really hard to promote yourself, I guess.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that, especially the part about Masa. Oh my God, Masa is a
Masa is
scare.
scary.
Masa is scary. He's
Masa
just
is
like straight up
scary.
scary.
When I play ladder, it's like one of those person like, damn it, I have to play him. Like
He gets in your head every single time
it's
too.
good.
Like
It's solid.
he
Yeah.
does like these small little weird things that just throw people off their game completely.
Him and Illusion too. Illusion is really good.
Illusion, yeah. Um, yeah, Root just has a lot of really good
Yeah,
players.
Rid is pretty damn solid right now,
Hmm.
for sure. I think you're one of the better, best A team, I would say. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, all of Root's players are actually living in North America, I believe. So I think
Mm,
I could theoretically say they have the best NA roster,
I would
like
say
of
so.
actual
Yeah,
NA
you
players.
definitely do. You definitely do have the
Yeah,
best NA roster right
yeah.
now. Not including the Koreans, or else like EG would be better, I guess. But other than that,
But they aren't even living in North America, I think. So
sure, yeah. So if
yeah,
not for America, then I think Root is the best for sure.
yeah, it's pretty impressive, man. And hey,
Yeah.
you get to practice with Estrella, so you get a taste of it also. So, anyways, uh, final question that I want to ask, and I ask this to everybody on breaking out. The final question is, where do you see yourself in 2 years, ideally, either in StarCraft or life, or just I guess everything altogether?
It's hard to say for sure, but in 2 years, hopefully, I'll be graduating from university, or I might be moving back to Singapore or Indonesia. I'm not sure yet, but because my family business or my dad business is over there, so
Hmm.
I'm not really sure yet. But for StarCraft, I'll definitely just keep on playing and just try to improve and just play as much as possible and try to win some tournaments, I guess.
Well, I mean, you say it's for your family business, but
Right.
let's be honest, it's so that you can play Dota and get the Indonesian royalty.
Maybe. But since I haven't played Dota in a while, to be honest, I don't play Dota as often now because of StarCraft. Because
Hmm.
I got hooked into StarCraft like a couple of years back. But um, not a lot of people know about StarCraft 2 outside of America and like outside of the StarCraft 2 community.
Hmm.
But in Singapore, I don't think StarCraft is that it's super popular. But
Yeah.
it'll be really cool just to go back and see what's going on. I think I have a friend who's a pro gamer in Singapore, some Southeast Asian. I think his name is Flash Lysk or something. He's like he's apparently the best Singaporean player or something like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I met him on Korea Ladder. He's a pretty decent player, but it's crazy because apparently he's like my friend's friend or like my school friend. It's crazy. It's small world, I guess.
Small world, man.
Small world indeed. Yeah.
All right, well, that's gonna close up the show. Although I do just want to ask one final question.
Sure.
Have you played Dota 2 at all, or
I-
just
yeah.
Dota 1?
No, definitely. I played Dota 2 sometimes with my friends from Singapore, sometimes with my from Clarity Gaming like members like Shu and like
I see Shu on Dota all the time.
we try to play as much as possible, but it's I suck at it now. Like God, like I'm so bad. Like I used to be really good at Dota because I used to play it every day, but I'm so bad right now. Like I do okay, but I definitely didn't do as good as before
Mhm.
because I'm terrible right now. But
Yeah.
I like to play a couple of games just to take off the edge of StarCraft sometimes. Like just to chill. I like to play maybe like 1 or 2, 3 games maybe.
Yeah.
Just for fun, and it's fun when you have like 5 people playing, and then you just like troll people and like make this dumbest like builds. It's fun.
Divine
It's fun.
Courage. I don't know if you know what that is.
I'll like troll people and like go punch, and then like I'll hook my own friends or something. It's for fun.
Oh man. Well, good times. Anyways, I think that we are pretty much finished up though. So, Reborn, do you have any shout outs that you want to give?
Definitely. Shout out to Clarity Gaming for being an awesome team. Everybody in it. Everybody has been really great so far. It's been an honor being in Clarity Gaming. Shout out to you for doing this Breaking Out Invitational. It really helps the NA scene, and you're one of those person that actually cares about it. So that's really awesome by you. So thank you, and that's it.
All right. Well, guys, you can go ahead and check out Arthur Reborn Lee over in the chat. I have links if you're watching this on Twitch. It's links to his Twitter, etc., as well as Clarity Gaming. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's just below the video, so you don't even have to look at the chat or wait for me to post the links because I'm probably behind on this. But regardless, guys, my name is Fear Dragon. I obviously am running the show, so if you guys feel like following the channel, twitch.tv/FearDragon64, you can catch all the stuff live broadcasted at Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And yeah, you'll also get a notification tomorrow about when we go live with Reborn's games. So we're going to be covering his Zerg versus Zerg, his Zerg versus Protoss, his Zerg versus Terran, all tomorrow. Should be pretty awesome. He's already sent me the replays, and I am looking forward to seeing how they end up going. So I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and if you want to catch the VODs are always up pretty much within like 5 to 10 minutes of the show ending on Twitch. So you can get those over at youtube.com/FearDragon64. Also consider subscribing there. But that is going to be pretty much it for today, guys. So thank you so much all for tuning in. Hopefully you guys decide to tune in tomorrow, Friday, and catch those games. But we'll see you all next time. Take care.